Hi everybody, Steph here. Now what we've got for you today is a lovely vintage eyedropper fountain pen. You can see it comes in this gorgeous black hard rubber with this lovely chase pattern to the cap and the barrel. And if we go straight to the imprint, show the imprint there, you can see this pen is called the Neptune, and then underneath it's got the number 210. So it's a Neptune 210 eyedropper fountain pen. It's a long slim pen, the size of the pen from the top of the cap to the bottom of the barrel, approximately 146 millimeters capped, around the barrel around about 11 millimeters in diameter. Now this particular pen I date from the very early 1900s, and I believe it was made by a company called BW&R Ltd, or better known as Burge Warren Ridgley Ltd. And their sort of claim to fame is, I believe they were the first British manufacturers of fountain pens. They were established, I believe, around about 1850. Now, although I date this pen to sort of the early 1900s, they made him sort of in different. This one being a black hard rubber, I believe they did him in a red rubber and the red bark pattern. I also believe they made some very nice silver overlaid and gold overlaid pens as well. So they made him in all different guises. And when they were actually making these pens in the 1900s, they were competing with the likes of some of the big boys, with the likes of maybe Waterman's, maybe Todd and Company, or maybe Todd and Bard, who made the Swan pens. As I say, this one early 1900s, although I believe the company was taken over around about the 1930s by the Jewel Pen Company. So, as I say, you know, I think we can sort of can estimate this pen to the early 1900s. As we said, it's an eyedropper pen. You can see it's got a slip cap, which just simply slips on and off. Let's give you a little bit of a twirl like that, in lovely condition. If we take you to the top there, you can see the section is slightly tapered towards the nib. Now these nibs, some of the nibs on the Neptune pens, or not necessarily on the Neptune, but the Burge Warren and Ridgley pens, actually were warranted 14 karat gold nibs, and they also had the Burge Warren and Ridgley name on the nibs. But if you look at this particular one, let's keep it nice and still, it's quite, well, it's a simple plain nib, and it just simply has 14 karat on the nib. Okay, but again, I believe their nibs, as we said, were 14 karat with Burge Warren and Ridgley written on the nibs as well. So maybe they also made different kinds of nibs, different warranted nibs, etc. If we take you underneath the pen there, you can see the feed underneath there. It's quite a wide feed, as you can actually see there. Okay. Now, as we said, it's a eyedropper pen, which means that these pens were actually filled by simply undoing the section like so, and then filling the pen with an eyedropper or a pipette or whatever. Now, again, I've cleaned it internally, so what we're actually going to do, let's have a look and see if it writes. So what I'm actually going to do, bring some ink on and bring on my trusted little syringe like so. So let's fill the syringe up with some ink. We don't need a great deal just for this writing sample. So you can see we've got some ink in the syringe there. Let's pop that into the barrel, and let's pop that ink into the pen like so. I feel like doing a doctor's operation there. So we've popped some ink in the barrel. Let's screw on this section like so. Okay, let's do it a little bit tight, and then let's turn the pen upside down, give it a little couple of seconds, and hopefully the ink will feed into the nib. First time it's ever been used since since I've serviced it and cleaned it internally. So in fact, what I'm actually going to do, just off camera, I'm just going to give it a bit of a shake. There we go. Get some ink flowing into the nib. So again, let's have another go. So what we have is a Neptune pen. This one is number 210. It's a little bit on the scratchy side, the nib, but saying that, look how flexible it is. On the downward stroke with pressure, and it depends how brave I want to be, you can see we're getting quite a broad line. Now unfortunately on the upward stroke there, it's quite scratchy. So there we go, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do it again. So there we go, the downward stroke, we're getting a lovely big thick line and quite a wet line as well. And again, it depends how brave you want to be with the line, because on the upward stroke I'm getting, well, it's getting quite a bit scratchy. So there's a writing sample. As you can see, we're getting quite a broad line on the downward stroke. So it's got a nice flexy nib on the pen, which again for some of the pens of this particular era is quite common. So let's pop the cap on like so. So there we have it. I'm going to keep it, well, I say short, obviously it's gone on for a while. So there we have it. It's a Neptune number 210 fountain pen made by a company called BW&R or Burge Warren Ridgley, and again from around about the 1900s. So don't forget, if you want more information on the Neptune pens, take a look here. Okay, now if you go to this site here, www.neptunefountainpens.com, and there's some nice information there regarding these pens. But I hope you've enjoyed looking at this pen as much as I enjoy showing them to you. Don't forget, loads and loads more videos on my channel. Go and have a look, and don't forget to subscribe. But for now, I'll just say bye bye now.